impressive performance Ross Chastain has done in that 66 tonight.
He had to pit for fuel. If Austin Dillon can make it to the end and he ends up with about a 5th or a 6th place finish, that may be a championship move here. If he runs out of gas or has to stop, then he's liable to finish 20th.
Ricky Carmichael, I believe, just ran out of fuel across the front stretch. He went way down low and he's wiggling the truck. It looks as though he has run out of gas.
Austin Dillon just got put in the wall by Tom Bodine.
Austin Dillon into the wall, coming out of turn 4. Your race leader sees the white flag. One more lap to go. Dillon's in the wall in turn 1 and 2. There goes your race leader, Timothy Peters. It's the final lap. Even if the caution comes out, Timothy Peters will win this race. He's got to be able to hold off James Busher, who's about 2 seconds behind him.
I think Austin Dillon may have run out of fuel.
I think he just got run in the wall, Phil. He's under power. That thing just wrecked coming down the front straightaway.
Win number 3 goes to Timothy Peters.
Yes, baby. Good job, boys. Woo!
And now, the other truck's limping home.
Hornaday's out of fuel. He was running 30. He's out of fuel coming off of turn 4.
Trying to coast out of turn number 4. You see Carmichael has run out of fuel. He can't get to the start-finish line.
Paludo goes by Hornaday to get that spot.
Paludo takes 4th from Hornaday. Hornaday finishes 5th, coasting across the start-finish line. Crafton is 7th.
How painful is this for Ricky Carmichael? He might make it across the finish line. He might not.
Just using the starter right now is all he can do, and he's probably going to get to the start-finish line. Timothy Peters is going to beat him to the start-finish line for his victory celebration.
And Carmichael is thinking, come on, just let me please get to the start-finish line. And Timothy Peters will start to celebrate win number 3 in his 106th start in the Camping World Truck Series.
We've got a lot going on right now, y'all.
You got Austin Dillon up against the outside wall right there. Timothy needs to watch out for those other 2 trucks.
Dillon's trying to figure out when can I go by. The smoke screen has been put out by the 17 of Timothy Peters.
Austin Dillon is being shown right now in the 9th position.
That's a break for Johnny Sauter. Johnny looks like might maintain this point lead despite the fact that he lost 2 laps when he had a flat tire.
We're showing unofficially right now that Johnny would retain the point lead by 4 points.
What a championship battle this is in 2011.
How about one happy young man there, Timothy Peters?
That's a primetime player right there. You put him on a big stage and he can come through for you.
Does it tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway. Let's go to Ray Dunlap.
Well, let's hear from his crew chief, Butch Hilton. There were 5 or 6 races where people weren't sure where this team was. Last week, you guys turned it around with a 3rd and a big win tonight. What's been the difference, Butch?
I got to thank all the guys at TRD at the Chassis Engineering Building, Dan Vanetta and Patrick. They've really worked hard with us on our geometry. His tires changed a little bit from last year, and we had to get off what we were doing and do something else. And I got to dedicate this win to Tom DeLoach. He pretty much funds this truck out of his pocket. Without Tom DeLoach, we wouldn't be able to do this. And all the guys at the shop, Gear Wrench, Crescent, K&N Filters, just it's been great to get back going again here. I was starting to believe we couldn't win again, but we did. That's awesome.
You guys came in 10 laps later than the other guys. Did you know that might make a difference? Because quite a few guys ran out of fuel.
No, we felt like we were okay on fuel. We got spun down there messing with the 32. Came in, put our last set on. I was worried about that, but it worked out. We adjusted on it some more and got it freed up a little more in the center, and he was able to go.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thanks, man.
All right, Butch Hilton, the winning crew chief for Timothy Peters.
Good to see old Butch Hilton get a victory, isn't it, Phil?
Sure is. That's 2 in a row for him here at this racetrack.
Who would have ever imagined a green flag run to end this one of over 100 laps?
What was the longest one prior to this? 20?
20. And we go over 100 laps of green flag racing. Yeah, this was tough for that 3 truck.
Going to be another view. There's Miguel Paludo, just got by Austin. Come off the corner there.
How could that happen? Either Todd Spotter didn't tell him he was out there, or Todd should have known he was out there. Does Todd have a wiggle or a push or something?
You hear Austin under power, certainly not out of fuel here. Gets run into the wall.
Hard.
And then he runs back in the wall.
He had a flat tire.
All to pieces.
Yeah, had a flat tire.
And remember, he was worried about fuel all while that's going on.
He was just cruising home, trying to get a top 5, and had it worked out too, Phil.
Tom DeLoach making it into victory lane with Timothy Peters. We're about to talk to him. We'll send the guys down there into victory lane when we come back. AAA Insurance 200 in the books, and it's Timothy Peters who's celebrating after this one, and Ray Dunlap's down there with him.
Yeah, he has been enjoying this one down here with the crew and everybody. Tom DeLoach came by. How about a 4th place run for Miguel Paludo, your teammate too? It's been a little while coming. How special is this for you?
It's special. I can't say enough about the guys on this Red Horse Racing, Crescent Tools, Apex Tool Group, family of brands, truck, Toyota Tundra, and Victory Lane tonight. You know, we had a tire coming apart. I spun out over here in 1 and 2. We came down pit road. Butch Hilton made a great call. We put 4 on, no choice. But the guys are doing a phenomenal job. We had a little hiccup last week, but they made up for it this week. Like I said last week, I love my guys. They get me on and off pit road well. Thank the Lord, man. I was praying for no caution there at the end, and my mom, I know you're watching. I love you. Wish you was here.
There were 3 or 4 weeks there in a row, Timothy, where you walked around the garage with a pretty solemn face. Things weren't going well. How hard is it to keep your patience and know that you can come back and make this happen?
I tell you, I'm very impatient, and you know, I had a lot of great people around me to just say, hey, keep your cool. And you even told me at Nashville, say, you see that up there at top of the board, smile. So, you know, I took your advice, great surroundings, and here we are. We persevered, right?
All right, you sure did. Big smile on his face right now. The celebration begins for Red Horse Racing. Timothy Peters back in Victory Lane. He wins what may be the last race for a while here in Indy.
That spin he was talking about.
Phil, he just gets down on the inside of the 32 of Steve Arpin, and look, he's sideways. They finally make contact, and because he was sideways, his truck spins around, and that was key to him winning the race.
Absolutely. That may be directly relevant to him winning that race. He had to come to pits. That was 10 laps after everyone else had stopped. He put 4 tires on. He said Butch made a great call, made an adjustment, filled it with fuel. He had enough fuel to get to the end without conserving, and he was able to drive by the field.
Timothy Peters gets win number 3. How about the 3rd second place finish for James Busher? He was with Hermie Sadler.
Well, James Busher comes on with an impressive second place finish, led a lot of laps. What were your guys telling you about fuel to get to the end?
We were more worried about the right front tire than we were about fuel. You know, some guys were having problems, and we were trying to conserve. It's a long way to stretch our tires, and you know, the Wolfpack Reynolds guys did a great job. We really weren't that good in the final practice, and decent qualifying effort. And, you know, right there whenever Sauter and I made a run to the front after our first pit stop, and, you know, it just, truck was awesome right then, and I knew I had to get around the 13 as soon as I could, and he was really fast. So I got around him in traffic and, you know, I had to hold him off for a long time, and then he had problems. So, you know, you don't wish bad luck on anybody, but when the 2 guys ahead of you in points are having problems and you finish second, that's not a bad day. So, you know, I got to thank X-Side Batteries, Great Clips, and FOE, and all these guys on the Wolfpack Reynolds team, and you know, that definitely closes up the standings on the championship hunt.
That's a good second place run and a good points night for James Busher.
Since we're talking points, let's look at the Ford point standings. Now, 1 race separates the top 6 in our point standings. A pretty impressive day here at Lucas Oil Raceway.
I think the decision NASCAR made to change the point system around a little bit was a great idea. This championship battle is well in doubt, and we're halfway through the season.
Did it really tighten this thing up or not?
Very, very impressive. Again, Johnny Sauter with just a 4-point lead in the point standings, but the smile is all for Timothy Peters going back to victory lane for his 3rd time.